Another Demis Hellen tutorial. We are going to take a look at how to make things pop. And what I mean by make things pop is looking at how to emphasize the main melody. So in this track Bad Culture that I showed you the other day, there's a section here where it drops. There's like a bit of an intro build, if you would, into the main section where the kick drops back in. Now the kick's not tight enough in my opinion, and the melody is not syncopated enough. The notes are too long, or the reverb's too long. Hence I removed the Pluck Stars version 2 out of this section to make it pop, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to make it pop by putting that back in as well. So let's just have a listen to it now, and then we'll take a look at how we can improve on this. Okay, so the synth blip is too loud, in my opinion, and probably back then when everything was balanced differently, that would have had the levels elevated to make it fit. So we're going to sort that out. The kick drum's not punchy enough. It works for the song, but it just needs that little bit more snap in there. So we'll sort that out. And also, this is the melody. It's heavily syncopated, it's got a nice solid start, but when we copy this over and play, it's syncopated, but there's too much going on in the background. So we can sort that out straight away here by adding another lane into this. We don't want to go into Inserts, we want to go to Massive, Filter, De-Wetter. And this is where we can remove the reverb and the delay all at once. Let's just make that a bit bigger. So that's its default position. Just going to put another locator there to stop me losing my original position. And let's have a listen to how that sounds like this. Going to put a rise into it there. So I'm just looking at the mixer now to see if there's another delay on there, which there isn't. So I must have left on in the actual preset. Let's have a look. De-Wetter down. Yeah, so there's still delay in there. Reverb's pretty much off. So let's just have a listen to that. Let's see how it sounds. And then with it on. So it does emphasize, it is fading out there, so I suppose we could start dropping it. Just make it a little bit less of a steep drop with a little bit of a kink in it. Okay, so how can we make that pop a little bit more? Let's have a look at the compression we have on it. So we're using the FR Comp 87. We want a slow attack. Let's have fast. So you can hear the snap is a little bit better there because the compressor is returning to 0 pretty quickly. So let's just have a listen to that now. That's working much better. You can hear the snap because the compression is returning to 0 a lot quicker. So that's worked. Right, so to make this kick a little bit snappier, I am going to go onto the mixer and find kick. So kick 2 is there. Alright, so we've only got a Pro Q on there. So I'm going to put a Pro C. Should we use Pro C2? Just trying to think if there's anything else that would probably work better. I'm just wondering if... let's see if Firefly works good for this. So this one is the one with the transient punch. So you can add a bit of punch, you can add a lot of punch into it, or just have it normal. So we're going to turn on off analog. We're going to have a fairly slow attack. We'll give it a 3:1 ratio. Release we'll leave there for a second. Let's have a listen to the kick. So you can hear a lot of tail on there, a lot of afterthought on the sub. And that just tames and tightens it up a little bit. So let's just add on punch. Let's add the other one on. Right, let's bypass it to see what it sounds like. So it's adding a bit of spike into there. Let's give it a 4:1. So it's more round, and then it's got a little bit of snap to it. So let's just have a listen. Might have to just tame the drum a little bit. And I'm just going to bypass it. Let's tame the blip down as well. We can't do everything in one go. So I'm just going to use Pro Q. In fact, we're already... See, we're clipping there. See, these are things to watch out for big time. So I'm just going to reduce that by about 2.5 decibels. See, it's creeping up too close to my liking, so I'm just going to drop it down by 3.5 just to give it some headroom. And I've just noticed a frequency here that I just want to tame down a bit. I think it's this one here. Because there's a double note there, so I'm just going to drop that. Works a bit better. Right, let's just reset that, make sure we're not clipping. See, that was adding a lot of, it was taking a lot of headroom up, so if we just turn that off, watch how much this creeps up. It is making that rise over time, so especially if throughout the piece I've played that melody a couple of times with different velocities, because I like to keep my velocities inconsistent, so it's not just that, it gives it a bit of a human feel to it. Right, so we've tamed the volume of that down now. The kick's cutting through a bit better. Okay, so just for this one, I am going to edit this to turn this down. And I'm also going to attach it to this, so then when it's up, there, so the dampening's down, and then when it goes back up, there, that's better. So we have a little bit more focus on the melody now rather than the effects. So I'm just going to double check that everything is working okay with the kick and bass. So always good to just come back and check. So let's just... So this is Pro Q3 Kick 2. Let's overlay on there, and then we don't have to have both. Be going through the tutorials for this at some point. Right, so you can see this is where the kick drum is most focused. See, this red mark is where the kick drum frequencies are lying the most. So let's just bypass that. Alright, so there's just something in that bass that I'm not liking too much. And that's the kick drum. Let's try that one again. Let's go to the bass. It's the frequencies here. Okay, I'm just... Just want to tame it down a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be the right way to do it, but it's just... Right, let's have a listen to how it sounds now when it drops in. Okay, so what you can't see on off screen there is I've just reduced the volume of the Pluck Stars lead there. Just a little bit. Right, there we are. So Pluck PLK S, and I'll just call it V2 mellow. Okay, so we've got that there, and all the melodies are, are red. Right, so we have that integrated a little bit better so we can see. Let's have a listen to the build-up. So I'm going to make a creative decision to shorten the kick down a little bit more, and then we should get our punch. Okay, so we got that there. Say I'm just taming that a little bit. I'll have that there, and then let's just listen to these. So I'm not really liking that one. levels out. And then let's listen to it and everything comes back in. Tame this down a bit. And then this one. I am just going to change the sound of this, and then I think we are pretty close to having a nicer sound than we did when we started. Make sure we're not clipping. So this one's there just to give it a bit of weight behind, because all the other sounds are pretty thin, like the blip. And this synth, well, that's a supporting. They're all very thin sounding synths, they haven't got that weight behind them. So that's the reason why that's there. Okay, so there we are. We've tightened it up a little bit. So just as a quick recap on what we've done, we've removed a lot of the wetness of the Pluckstar synth, so removing the reverb and the delay to a point where it's pretty much non-existent, especially on the reverb, to emphasize how staccato it is, how short the notes are, a lot of transient detail. We've got the blip in there to help with that top end. The kick has been shortened and boost, like the bass has been cut in that frequency range a little bit more, so that kick drum comes through a lot nicer and it just sounds generally snappier. Might be a bit too snappy now, but I'll balance that out once I've got the rest of the track sounding where I want it. And with me listening in the headphones, I can't tell if there's too much top end on the synths at the moment, but I'll do that after this video. And yeah, I think that's pretty much covered it. We've removed some detail from the synth that's thickening it up. And yeah, that's it. So that's how to make everything a little bit tighter and a little bit more solid for a drop like that, to emphasize and make those synths sound a little bit more than what they are. So thank you very much for watching. Like and comment, let me know what you think of the track again down below. It's been very well received. Are you looking forward to this being a release? And finally, subscribe. I upload 2 times a week, production tutorials, or whether it be reviews. There's always 2 videos. And it's the March Marathon, so you're getting a video every single day of March. So that's another reason to subscribe. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.